All right, I'm going to start my timer just so I have some good. All right, everyone, we're going to get going a little bit early here. I know that lunchtime is kind of coming up, so anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to stick with me. Hello, team here, team listening on the live stream. Thanks for coming. My name is Jerry Steele. I'm a program manager on the Azure Portal team, and so just so you know, that Portal team is sort of responsible for the overall look and feel of Azure, you know, the colors, the interaction patterns, and things like that. And in particular, I look after the user experience for virtual machines and scale sets and things like that, all the sort of core compute kinds of resources. Hope the conference has been good so far. I know that there's a lot of concepts out there. There's a lot of new concepts out there. We listen to a lot of customer feedback, as you'd expect on the portal. And one of my favorite, I guess, infamous quotes is talking to a customer, and they said, I'm trying to learn this Azure thing. I'm trying to get going on it, and it's kind of like you've asked me to bake a wedding cake, but you're giving me a cookbook in Japanese. And I thought that was a great quote. I got some nods here in the audience resonating with that quote. And I took that to mean a couple different... Wait, hold on. Oh, I lost it. Spent time on that. Had to do that. So yeah, I took that quote to mean a couple different things, right? First, the words I don't even recognize, the concepts I don't really understand what you're trying to talk about. But even more than that, I think there's a culture or a set of assumptions that Azure has that I just don't share. So I don't even know how to get started with this thing. So my job here is to hopefully be a bit of an ambassador to this new land, teach you a little bit about how Azure thinks about things, and hopefully at least help you understand some of those cookbooks and some of those assumptions so that you can go and bake the cake that you want to bake. I think a lot about virtual machines, so we're going to talk mostly about virtual machines today and protecting virtual machines and how Azure thinks about that. I'm going to give you a tour of some of the concepts, the native building blocks of Azure. How does it sort of protect and organize your resources? What can you do to connect to them securely? How can you write your applications so that you don't have to hard code tons of credentials in them? Mostly in the context of virtual machines, but let me know if you've got other questions about different Azure resources, and we can try to organize some of those. My clicker's not working. Can I click? There we go. And I'll give you the answers to this right at the beginning. So we're going to talk in a couple different ways. First, sort of the network connectivity part. So that's kind of like, how do you control who can actually see this machine, who can send packets to it, who can connect to the machine. And so we got the primitives around that, around virtual networks, network security groups, application security groups. And then we'll talk about some of the, how can I ensure that only the right people can access that thing. I'm standing in front of my slides. Sorry about that. And we'll talk about how can you write your code to basically, keep some of your credentials out of your code, so that you can really, scale that in a secure way in the cloud. If you know all those things, you should go grab some lunch. Otherwise, we'll keep on going. Great. So let's talk about just some of the background for Azure, how it works through virtual machines. So when you create a virtual machine in Azure, you get a form that you have to fill out. A number of questions. There's a minimum number of questions if you just want to go with the defaults, and then there's a larger set of questions that you can answer if you want to customize it and things like that. One of those required things that we're going to make you do is put it into a virtual network. And that virtual network is, I think people that are familiar in the IS space are familiar with networks. It's a sort of walled off space network space for your whatever you want to do. You can set how many IP addresses you want in there, the number of them, the address space, and things like that. Every virtual machine has to go into a virtual network. If you don't have one, we create a new one for you, or you can put it into one that you've already got. And so now by default, we try to lock those down pretty good. So by default, you have a walled garden. No traffic can come in, but traffic can go out. And then traffic within the virtual network is pretty good. So if we had to draw a picture of that, it kind of looks like that, right? So here I've got an Azure region, and I've got a number of virtual networks. Here I've got a bunch of virtual machines inside this big virtual network. This machine here I should use the mouse so that people online can follow along. I can't. This machine here can connect to virtual machines within the same subnet, which is in the same virtual network. It can connect to VMs in a different subnet in the same virtual network. But by default, it's going to be blocked connecting to another VM and another virtual network. That second virtual network is going to block it. Make sense? And you can inspect that in the Azure portal as well. You can go and browse your list of virtual networks, find one and click on this diagram thing, and you can actually do a little visualization for you. So you can see in this virtual network, I've got this number of subnets, and those subnets have VMs in them, that kind of thing. So we help you try to see that there. Now, so you've got sort of a walled compound there. What you then need are some doors and windows to be able to access things, when you want to. In Azure, those are called network security groups, and so that allows you to set a set of rules around traffic that goes in and out. You get to decide, I'm going to allow traffic from this source to access this VM in this port. And you can attach that network security group to either the subnet that all your VMs are in, or a specific subnet. So you can be either sort of a general rule for everything. All the VMs in this subnet are going to have these traffic policies, or you can specify this VM something very special. And also, you can, as you're trying to build out your networks in your organization, you can apply policies to ensure that the right NSGs get applied. So you could apply a policy that says, in this virtual network, whenever I create a VM, make sure it has this NSG. Make sure every VM has to be in this VNet, that kind of thing. So if I had to draw a picture of that, it might look like this. So I've applied, I've got my same configuration here, and I've applied a network security group rule to the subnets. And so basically, it's gonna go if traffic comes in and tries to access one of these VMs, it may or may not be blocked by the NSG at the subnet level. Right, so you can configure that so that still, I'm going to allow traffic within the subnet. I'm going to allow traffic to different subnets. And now I can apply this NSG here, and I can allow traffic from this VNet over here to this VNet. Makes sense? And when you look at a virtual machine in Azure, you can see all of the network security groups that are applied to a particular thing. So here I've opened up a virtual machine in Azure, and I've clicked on the networking tab. And then we show you, here are the network security groups that are in effect for this virtual machine. Here's a list of them that are applied to the subnet level, and then down below, here's a list that are applied at the resource level, at the virtual machine level. And then if I want, I can hit the add inbound port rule, and I get a pop-up that says, okay, I want to add a new rule new control for this virtual machine. I want to allow any traffic from any source to port 8080. All right, and I can do that for inbound and outbound, and it just gets added to the top of the list. So one way that people often use those then is to sort of set up a configuration to set up a jump box, right? I might want to add another virtual machine over here on that same network that does allow access from the outside world. I might block off these other 6 from the outside world, and then I have this one that does have outbound connectivity, and I'm going to allow that one to connect to all the other VMs in the virtual network, and maybe that one can jump around to other places in my network. Make sense? Awesome. And when you want to scale that up, we have something called application security groups. And that basically allows you to stick a label on a network, on a resource. It's a label, and then I can say, okay, I'm going to configure a rule using that label. So if I wanted to stick a label called web server on like 3 or 4 different virtual machines, and then I'm going to configure a rule that says allow traffic from anything labeled as a web server to this thing in my backend pool. Right? Makes sense. So sort of you go back to that networking tab in the virtual machines. We have an area here called application security groups. You can click there, configure, stick the label on this virtual machine. And then when you configure your rules, right, you can use that label in the configuration of the rule. You can say, I want to allow traffic from anything labeled as a web server to something else, to things in this virtual network, right? And if we were to draw a picture, it might look like something like this. I might apply a rule on this thing that says, okay, anything that has that application security group, I'm gonna allow traffic from there. All right. All right, so that was the whirlwind tour of sort of the basics of sort of network and network security groups and controlling access to virtual machines in Azure. Make sense? Any questions on that? Awesome. So now now that we have that sort of background and basics, I'm going to walk you through a scenario that I actually went through a few weeks ago, trying to figure out how to approach this problem, and how I solved that problem of connectivity and trying to write this code on this virtual machine without putting my password, checking it into version control or storing it in code anywhere. So here's my problem that I had. I had an app on my workstation. I wanted to basically move that app to the cloud. It does some work to take a zip file, does some work on it, and I just wanted to take the output of that and put it into a storage account, and then that way I can access it from the cloud and do other things with it. And so I wanted to move this project to Azure, but again, I didn't want to I wanted to secure access to that virtual machine. I didn't want everyone in the world to be able to access that project, and then I didn't want to put all my credentials in there so that other people in my organization might be able to use the same solution. All right, so let's take a look at just a part of this solution here. I spent time on the animation too. I was very proud when I actually did that. Okay, so here's the story, and I'm gonna warn you. I'm gonna tempt the demo gods through this thing, and we'll see how kind they are to me today. So right, okay. So here's into this, I'm gonna tell you about some things that you can do today, and then a few things we're gonna sneak in that you'll be able to do tomorrow that I think is gonna make even what I did come up with a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so here's me over here. I'm a gray blob, and I've got a computer. I'm trying to basically access this virtual machine that I have over there, but I'm blocked, right, because of those network security groups I told you before. So I've got to open up access to this VM through the network security group. I'm not super excited about that though, because I don't really want to just leave that port open to the world. I'd really, we talked about the doors and windows to this VNet. What I really want is like a drawbridge. I really want to be able to put down the drawbridge, let in some traffic for a minute, and then pull that drawbridge up, right? And in Azure, you can do that through the Security Center. We've got a feature in there called just-in-time access. And so what that allows you to do, it's exactly what it sounds like, right? It gives you a default policy for enabling access to a specific port on a resource. And I think the default is like 3 hours. It opens up access to that resource, and then after 3 hours, the drawbridge closes. You can't access again, and you have to request access again. And it's all audited and checked and things like that, so that that are an admin, you can check that over. So you can use JIT today. If you go to the Security Center, you can onboard a virtual machine to just-in-time access if you have the right level of Security Center subscription. One thing that we're working on, though, is actually bringing a tighter integration into the VM experience itself. So in the next few months, I think you'll see something like this. You can come to a virtual machine, go to the configuration, and click Enable Just-in-Time Policy on that. All that does actually in the background is add a network security group, which is a deny, everything to it. And then when you say, I actually want access to this, it'll run through its audit checks, it'll run through everything, and then it'll open up that network security group for a certain amount of time, and then it'll set it to deny again after that time is done. So that part, the enrolling is there now. Here's the part that we're excited to bring in the next couple of months, is that we want to put that experience right on the virtual machine connection pane. And I think actually I can even demo that today. If we flip, yep, okay. That's actually pretty funny. I just flipped to my demo machine here. This is real Azure here. So I give you the example of connecting with this. Here, it says, I want to connect to this virtual machine, and it tells you right up front, oh, you can't connect to it. There's just-in-time policy. You have to request access. I press request access. It goes away and thinks about it for a while. And hopefully soon it'll come back and say, yep, you're good to go. That's set to go. And now I can get the RDP file, and I can connect to that virtual machine. And again, I can walk away from that. I can forget about it, go have lunch, and it's going to close when I'm done with this scenario. back to the slides. So that looks like this. So now I've opened up access to that network, and I can now actually try to connect to that virtual machine. Now I've got to have credentials on that virtual machine. It's got to have a user login and password. And again, I don't want to hard code that into any code or things like that. So we're looking for ways to basically reuse some of the things we already have in Azure. So Azure has knowledge of users. It has knowledge, it has Azure Active Directory. So I know it has a pretty rich authentication thing, built into it. Can we reuse that? And we've actually brought that here too in a preview that you can try out today. And it's logging into an Azure VM with your Azure Active Directory credentials. So when you go and you create a virtual machine, it basically allows you to use your normal work credentials as a way to log into the VM. So now I don't have to actually put tons of user accounts on it. I can use Azure Active Directory to say this user, this group can all log into this virtual machine. And when you create a virtual machine of the right type that supports it, you'll see a checkbox here that says login with Azure Active Directory, and that does the work to basically do the integration with Azure Active Directory. Now, right now we have it for certain Linux images. In the next couple months, as they release the new version of Windows, you'll have that available for the next version of Windows as well. At least, and they're in private preview for that right now, and the public preview should be coming pretty soon. So then you use the normal Azure role-based authentication, the RBAC rules, to say, okay, I want to give someone in my organization access user login permission. So now you're using Azure and using RBAC to control access to the virtual machine rather than putting all the credentials you need directly out on the box. Does that make sense? So the way that might look is when I hit the connect button on a Linux machine, that's what we've got today. I get this new box here that says login using Azure Active Directory. So then when I try to SSH into that machine, it gives me the two-factor authentication dance that you might have seen if you've used like VS Code or some of the other command line tools. It gives me a Microsoft.com/device login URL. I have to go to that and pass it this code that it generates. So I go to that URL, I put in the code, I press continue. You do your normal corporate, whatever your corporation has you to do to log into its secure resources. Microsoft, we're very excited about the authentication app and multi-factor authentication. So I've got to put in a username. I have to then sign in with my phone. I get the text, I get the alert on my app. And once I do all that, I've logged into the virtual machine. That makes sense? So that's a nice way, again, to use Azure to control access to virtual machines. Great. OK. So now I'm through the machine. I've connected to it. Yes. Very exciting. Now my job, as you recall, I want to do some work on that virtual machine and save information to that storage account. I'm going to be blocked there because the virtual machine isn't really, it's just a Windows machine. It doesn't have access to that storage account. It's blocked on its own. And so the code that I write has to have the right authentication credentials in order to log into the storage account and do the work that it has to do. Traditionally, you'd solve that problem with basically this is where you'd have to hard code either like a storage account key, an access key, or use a shared access signature, and you'd have to put that in your code or an environment variable somewhere. One of the tools that we're releasing here at Ignite is managed identities for Azure resources, and this is yet another way of authenticating. But it's basically you're going to provide the particular resource an ID in Azure. It's basically like a service principal, but it's sort of managed by Azure instead. So what that means is that it's going to have its own, this resource, this VM is going to have its own Azure Active Directory credential. And now I can use the normal Azure RBAC to control what that thing can have access to. So I can I can give this VM a credential, and I can say that VM can now access this storage account, or it can access that key vault, that kind of thing, right? And so the storage that people often use with that is like when you write your code and you have it running on that virtual machine, it may need to access a storage account. So now instead of hard coding that, I can ask for the MSI and be authenticated that way. Sometimes people use that MSI to access other secure credentials from a key vault. Or if I want to have a function app up here and I want it to do work on this VM over there, again, I can use MSI to make sure all those things have the right identity and authorization to do those things. And that's a switch that you can just go ahead and flip in the virtual machine itself. You just come here and say, yes, I want to turn on, I want to turn that on. So let's see, this is where I'm going to attempt the demo gods. This is something that I just tried today. Let's go ahead and remote into this virtual machine. Great, so I've done all the work that we talked about already, and I've remoted into a virtual machine, and I've got some code on it that I want to run. So let's say, again, let's do this example where I'm trying to write some files to a storage account. I'm going to go ahead and try to do that. So if I run this line, assuming that I reset my work correctly, yes, it'll come back and say, nope, you can't have it. You have to sign into Azure, right? Makes sense. It needs to know who's trying to access Azure. What I'm going to do now, so traditionally if I run the connect command, I'm going to get the web browser to do my own personal login. I could log in with a service principal, but I'd have to hard code the things. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this login with MSI. And again, it's assuming that I've been nice to the demo gods. It says nothing, so that means that it worked fine. So now I've connected to Azure. I didn't have to put in my username and password. Basically, because I told Azure that VM has an identity, my code running on that VM can say, okay, I can get that identity, and I can use that to log into Azure, and now my code can do work on Azure, right? So great. So now let's see, I should be able to get this storage account, right? Ah, broken again. I can't actually access that because, as you see here, it has an identity, but it doesn't have authorization to actually do that particular operation. So what I've got to do is use Azure role-based authentication to tell that storage account, hey, anything that comes from this VM, it can access this. This storage account. So I could come back out to the portal and do this here. I'm actually going to do it from my phone here, and this is how live this demo is. I just got this build of the Azure app this morning at about 10:30, so I'm pretty excited that this works now. So this is where I'm tempting the demo gods. Not even tempting them, I'm kind of punching them in the face. So here I'm going to bring up this the file share on my Azure application. And what they've just released at Ignite this year is the ability to do role-based authentication, the Azure the RBAC permissions on here. So I'm going to come here to the access control for that particular file share. I'm going to say give it a new permission, and that permission is going to be the storage account contributor. Seriously, I didn't expect to do this. I would have had like a way to project this, but this is super. You are getting the hot off the presses demo. Great. So I go to storage account contributor. And here I can look up and I will give it access to that machine. And it was FSJ DevBox. It comes up, I say yes, and add permissions. Adding, and permission added. So great, so that should mean that I can try this command again. And it says nothing, so that means it worked. Live demo, give me a hand for live demo. Thank you. And now I can run and now I can run the command to actually copy a file off to that file share. We did it! Awesome. I appreciate that tribute to the demo gods. Thank you very much. Let's go back to the presentation. I had my cheater version here just in case. This is what I thought I was going to show you. So great, we did it. So that was the whirlwind tour. So what we talked about here was how can you control the network connectivity to a resource in Azure. And particularly, we talked about virtual machines. We talked about VNets and subnets and network security groups and application security groups. And then we talked about some things you can do on the resource side to actually protect it, to make sure you know who is accessing it and when they're accessing it, and who is allowed to. We talked about logging in, adding login with AAD, ability to a particular VM when you create it. We talked about the just-in-time access, the drawbridge, and we went through the managed identity for Azure resources. I hope that was a good whirlwind tour of some of the capabilities you've got in Azure. Hopefully it made you have way more questions. I'm here to answer those questions when you're ready. Everyone, thanks for coming. I appreciate your time. Please do the evaluation. If you've got any questions for me, feel free to come on up. Thanks, everyone.